Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This channel is all about how do we take a continuous improvement mindset and then apply it to our lives to make our lives easier, to perform better, and simply make things simpler. Easier and simpler could be the same thing. Okay, so the tip for today is this. Fill out a daily journal. Now what I do with my daily journal, well actually let's talk about the why. The best reason why I do the daily journal is it gives me time to think and to reflect. So what I do is I do it in the morning. I do it at a time where I'm not going to get any distractions. So certainly before the start of the work day or before I even need to get ready for the work day, it's one of the first things I do. And I just sit there and I just reflect on the things I need to do that day, the things I did yesterday, how they went, what I could learn from it, and I just fill it out. Now, I don't have any specific format to follow. So one of the books I'm using at the moment, and this used to be my son's, one of the books he had at school and he didn't finish it, so just a normal book. And I just thought, yeah, I'll just finish it off, write in it. So you don't need anything fancy. In fact, sometimes if I'm without a book, and this is, gosh, I don't even know what number book this is, so I just work my way through them. But if I find myself without a book, so for example, I'm on an early morning flight, then I'll just write on a piece of paper and I'll get rid of that piece of paper because I don't need to keep the journal and I don't need to review the journal. The value is filling it out. And as I say, I don't have any set format. So just free yourself. You don't have to talk about specific things every day and track how they're going. Just fill it out. Now here's another tip. I write it with my left hand. So let me just give you a quick so that handwriting, that's my left hand handwriting. Now you may say that that's not too bad, and it shouldn't be because I've been writing with my left hand for a couple of years now. But what writing with my left hand does, because I'm naturally right-handed, is it slows down my writing, which means I'm more economic with the words and I do more thinking between each word I scribe. So for example, I'll think of a sentence 3 or 4 times and redefine it and think it through more thoroughly before I write it down. Where if I write with my right hand, as soon as I think it, I can pretty much capture it. Maybe I'll think about it a second time and then I've got it down. So writing with my left hand, and it's not a party trick, it's not something I've ever wheeled out and people thought it's been, it's fascinating or anything. So it's not a skill that's going to give you any massive benefits apart from, as I say, what I found with capturing my daily journal. And it's only recently I've come up with calling it a daily journal. I didn't even have a name for it. I just sort of did it. But I think daily journal covers it. But to go back to my other point, the reason why I write with my left hand is just literally to slow down the writing and increase the time for thinking while I'm capturing the words. Look, there's a number of times in my daily journal I go, right, that's it. That's all I'm going to share for today. Let's get cracking into it. And then I think of something else and I go, oh, by the way, and then I just capture that thought. And if there's something I want to reflect on the next day, I make a note to reflect on it the next day, and then I might highlight it. So when I'm going into my journal for the next day, I see the highlighted piece and I do that. Every so often I make a note to tell myself the next day to go back and read the last 5 days, because there might be something, some thread or some thought that's been maturing over the last 5 days. So I want to keep that continuing. Whatever, in terms of, so how many lines on a page? Probably about 30. And so I'll go through maybe a page a day, maybe a little bit less than that, sometimes a half page. You can see here, a bit of a half page. And then, yeah, sometimes, oh, look, even a quarter. And then sometimes I know that I do, oh, here's an example where it's about a page and a quarter. So I just write whatever I want to write for as long as I want to write. Another quick tip, what I do is once I've finished writing on the front and back of a page, I cut the corner off. So when I need to get to where I need to start filling in next, then that corner's already cut off and I go straight to where I need to start filling in. How long do I spend? Probably between 10, no, sometimes it's short, sometimes it's 5 minutes. So in between 5 and 15 minutes. And I think, and this is the last thought I'll leave you with, I think it's the single most important thing I do each day, because it sets me out well for the day. I plan my day and I structure my day, and that's something I'll talk about in the next video in terms of how I do it and the benefits for me. And like anything I share in these videos, the whole idea is, if you think it's going to work for you, try it, grab it, steal it, use it. And if you don't think it will, don't. But over the series of these videos, I'm giving you almost a menu of items, one thing per video, for you to check out to see if it works or not. And if it works, it will make life easier for you, simpler for you, or help you improve your performance. So going back to what I was just saying, it's the daily journal is the thing I look forward to the most. I think it has the most impact. And let me just grab this here because I happen to have it handy. This is, for those of you that have been following this channel for a little while, this is my daily checklist in terms of what I want to get done every day. So there's 14 days across the top there, and then everything that I want to do in a day. I'm not very good at ticking. I do a lot of the stuff in the evening, but I'm not very good at ticking the boxes. So I tend to just remember, get it done. But I'm better at the start of the day when I set up. And one of the lines is daily journal. And that's sometimes how I start. So once I've done my daily journal, and sometimes I ponder what I need to get done for the coming day, what are the priorities, what are the focus, and it helps centralize my thinking on the things I need to get done. Once I've done the daily journal, because I've thought about what I need to do that day, then it's much easier for me to plan the day. And certainly those priorities, or the frogs you need to eat first, they become the tasks that I do in the morning. But forgive yourself for this. You know that when you develop a plan, sometimes the plan lasts for hours, and sometimes, and this is where the clicking comes in, it might only last for moments, and then you get a phone call and you have to change your focus onto something else because something's happened and it all blows up. So forgive yourself for that. You can't control that so much. You can control though if you start scrolling on your phone. If you sort of lie to yourself like I do to me, to myself every so often, and I go, wow, great daily journal entry, got a plan for the day. My plan starts at 7 a.m. or 7:30. I've planned the day out from that time. Say at 7:30, and at 7:23 I go, hey, I can watch YouTube for 5 minutes before I start. I'm lying to myself. The best thing I can do is start the 7:30 task right now and just go. Because I know by and large, when the plan falls apart, and it will fall apart at some time during the day, whether it's right at the start of the day or at the end of the day, it will fall apart at some stage. Something will pop up that I didn't expect, or I thought I would only take half an hour to do something, and it ended up taking an hour and a half, which has that ripple effect for the rest of the day. Some stage it blows up. So yeah, my key lesson there is don't lie to myself at the start and wait till the starting time if I can start earlier and get ahead of it. But the key takeaway is the daily journal. Don't worry about the book you're writing in. Don't worry about what you're writing about each day. It will mature every day. You'll think of things that you want to cover off. Some will be consistent things you cover off every day. Some things will be new ideas. Just let it flow. If you want to write with your left hand, if your right hand's your natural hand, or vice versa if you're left-handed, if you want to write with your right hand, give it a go. You've got to give it at least a month, because the first couple of weeks are super ugly. I'm struggling to remember, it's been a long time ago. And I do find sometimes I just pick up my pen now with my left hand and start writing with my left. Though I know instantly that, oh yeah, this isn't my natural hand, but it's just, yeah, the habit's picking up the pen with the left hand and starting to write. But I don't write sentences with my left hand and forget that it's my unnatural hand. There's still a big difference even after a couple of years between my left hand and right hand. But those top things again, any piece of paper, I would say pen and paper. I wouldn't, maybe you can just speak out loud, record that or not, I don't know. Typing it, I haven't tried that, but I do recommend pen and paper because it just feels good. Of course, another tip, you've always got to write like you're going to drop your journal somewhere and someone's going to pick it up. So you've got to be a little bit conscious about that, but you want to be honest with yourself too in it. Yeah, that's it. Pen and paper, any type of paper. Don't wait till the next week when you're going to go out shopping and you're able to buy a beautiful little notebook. Just grab anything and just start and write each day. And don't set aside 15 minutes because sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes, and just go where your brain takes you. But for me, last thing I'll say is it's the perfect reflection on where I'm at, where I want to be, and the gap between the two. I'm not talking a 10-year plan, I'm just talking day to day. It's my day-to-day tactics to just get the most out of the day. That's it. That's my daily journal. That's what it means to me, and that's what I'm doing. When I finish this book, whatever's kicking around, I'll grab it and start next with another book. All right, hope that's helpful. Take care. If it works, steal it. If it doesn't, I'll catch you in the next one.